Yo, what's going on out there? Today we are in the wonderful state of Ohio, southeast bound and down, headed to North Carolina. I haven't been to North Carolina for quite a while, so kind of cool. Get to go back. Whew. I've been a little sick lately, so if you hear me like cut out at a certain point and do some snorting, grunting, whatever, that's just because I'm getting rid of this cold, or trying. But that ain't why we're here. Why we're here is just some randomness that, I mean, all my videos are just randomness that I thought about, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I should put my thought on it out on the internet. Someone will find it and be like, oh yeah, you got a good point there. So I was watching this TED Talk, and I say that all the time. It's you listen to it, but it's on YouTube, so it just gets mixed up. But anyways, there you go again. I was listening to TED Talk, and it was about this guy that played Monopoly with his kids with actual money. And he was like, oh yeah, they love Monopoly, and like they play it forever, and they all have a certain style. And then once I introduced real money to them, they were like, ooh, this is real now, which was kind of surprising me. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I can't remember the word that or I guess it's a phrase. It's really two words. I can't remember the phrase that he used to describe the financial nonchalantness of how people play Monopoly. Like financial abstraction or something like that. I believe that's the term that he was using over and over. Basically, the money isn't real, so you play how you want to. And he basically, long story short, we'll get down to the skinny of it. Basically, he's saying that this is how America and, I guess the entire world, how we all operate at this point in our weird little existence we got going on here. And it's true. I mean, it's a really strange thing to just look at other people and watch other people and analyze what they're doing. This is the type of person that I am. That's what I do. Is analyze people, analyze myself, all that. Where was I going with that? There was something I wanted to say about it. I don't know. Basically, it's like bird watching, but you switch out the birds for people, and you're like, why are they doing that? And then you talk to them for a second, and you're like, oh, I kind of see what's going on here. This makes a little more sense. Okay, no, that was a tangent, wasn't it? So basically, the money thing, and how people just spend like the money isn't real. That's the idea of financial abstraction. That's what I picked up. I don't know if that's actually what it is. I'm just going to say that's what I picked up. People just spend nilly-willy, and it doesn't mean anything. If I go into my bank account and look at what I got in there, there's just a couple of numbers, and they're just there. They've been there for a while, because I don't spend any money. Y'all know how I get. But it's just kind of funny that people are willing to spend money on stuff that they spend money on. It's very strange. And another little story time. Here we go. We got another little story time. So it's a running joke in my family that I am the cheapest son of a gun you will ever meet in your life. And it's true. It's true. I don't spend money on anything. Oh, geez. All right. That was a pretty aggressive bump. I don't spend money on anything unless I actually want it or there's an actual purpose behind it. Otherwise, I ain't spending nothing. I don't care. You know, I have things. I have, you know, a fair amount of possessions, actually. I got a lot of shit. But everything, even if I have it for years and never touch it, it's got a purpose. Like, there's a reason why I have it. And you might as well keep it because you already spent money on it, you know what I mean? Grab a little go of the vape there. But yeah, back to my story. So we're up north. I was back on a reset, and my grandpa owns some land up there. I mean, I'm sure about 80% of the people that watch my videos already understand this because it's just my family watching this stuff. But for people that don't know, he owns a house up there. He owns a bar up there, and he's just not in the best of shape nowadays. So we went up there, or I guess my parents have been going up there every weekend to help out with the bar because obviously a guy that's not in the best of health needs, you know, a good amount of help with this type of situation. I mean, he's trying to get rid of the place. I mean, if you're looking for a bar, call up your boy, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna give you my number or anything. You can find me however you want to find me, but basically they go up there to help him, and I came up to visit this past weekend, and we were sitting in the bar drinking. Obviously, it's a bar, and I swear to God, every other thing was, oh, you know, like, Clay, you buying this or that, or you buying us one of those or that? You know, it just, every other thing, it's like, oh, no, money bags isn't buying us anything. Like, everyone thinks that I'm rich. It's hilarious because I'm dirt poor as far as I'm concerned. I'm poor as hell. I'm living like a scrub out here. But that is not what everyone else thinks. And I mean, maybe in some circles it's not true, but I don't know. We don't need to read too far into it. Yeah, they're basically saying stuff like that, and we went for a little boat ride up there, and I mean, it was just kind of, you know, we're tooling around the lake on a pontoon boat. We're not doing anything crazy, and here my old man is pointing out properties for me on the lake. This is a town of, oh boy, please, we don't need to go too far in this. 500 people, maybe 500 people, and I would personally guarantee you that 90% of the income in that town is either disability or retirement or some sort of welfare sort of a thing. I mean, I don't like to rag on people for using stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is. If you gotta do it, you gotta do it. But there's a couple people out there that really don't need to be on it, and they are, but it is what it is. People do what they want to do. But yeah, my old man's just pointing out properties, and I'm like, dude, like, you don't, this is not where you buy a property. Like, there's some really nice stuff up there, and surely, you know, someone would be interested in buying it, especially in, you know, the economic climate we got going on. Those are some big words, aren't they, boys and girls? Especially in the economic climate we got going on today. It's like, surely someone would buy something like that, and I'm like, no, like, it's not for me. I think about buying some sort of a rental property, but not like that. Like, that's just not a good idea. But yeah, it was just so funny, and every single piece of it was a joke, and I knew it was. I mean, it was hilarious. one of my uncles, well, actually he's the only uncle on that side, but I guess he's technically one of my uncles. I got other ones, but he's like, you know, you want to buy me something like this? And I'm like, oh, you know, yeah, I'll buy you one of them. And I pull out my wallet and I'm like, hey, you might want to take a picture. This is a pretty rare sight, you know, something like that, because my wallet does not leave my pocket very often at any point in time. And, you know, we had a laugh about that. But then that little TED, we're coming full circle here. The little TED Talk that I was watching there, and he was talking about how he was trying to see if his kids had a good grasp on the, I guess you'll call it the price of money, like what it's actually worth, you know, stuff like that. And he was able to kind of convey this in a way that they could understand a little bit, I guess. I mean, that was the gist of it, is that they got it, they understood it, and they played their Monopoly game. Yeah, I got a copy on you.
Alright, man, just checking it.
Somebody need a radio check. Now what the heck was I talking about? Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah, the Monopoly game. The Monopoly game. That's what we were talking about. Okay, hold on. We gotta break this thing down. Yeah, the Monopoly game. They were playing the Monopoly game a whole lot differently than they would have. Well, I think he had like 3 kids. One of them didn't really understand it, and I guess she played the game recklessly anyways, which is a great sign for the future of said person. I have no idea anything about him, but seems like a great future in the making. One of his sons was ultra conservative, and he played the game even more conservative, knowing that it was real money and that there was like I think it was a $20 cash prize or something like that for whoever won. He played it way more seriously than normal, and he was always the conservative one. And there was another son that typically played the game conservatively, but still able to let his money loose, and that was the one that won. The other ones, I don't know. He didn't explain it fully, but they just did not win. That's the short and skinny of it. But it was kind of funny, because even the kid was like really thinking about it like it was real money. But since you're playing the game, like, he's still, you know, putting out what he needs to, I guess, play the game properly. I don't know. Monopoly is a fun game, but I have not played that game in a while. Base, we're going to bring this, let's widen out a little bit. So what does that tell me about, you know, life in general? It seems like most of the population, and we're talking like maybe 60%. Yeah, it's hard to put a number on it. It's really hard to put a number on it, but that would be my completely uneducated guess. You can tell because I can barely speak English. Completely uneducated guess would be 60%. Is they're like his daughter, where they're just taking chances, hoping to get lucky, and in the end they lose. And there's another, I would say about 30% of people, and this is sort of an older generation that really, really understands the actual meaning, worth, whatever you want to say, of money, where they hold on to their cards and they hold them tight. They don't want anyone to see anything. You know, my grandparents are pretty reasonably good examples of that, where they, you know, a dime saved is a dime earned sort of thing, you know? Like that kind of a mentality where they play it really close to the chest. They aren't giving out money in anything crazy. And in the end, they probably do better than the people who are just relying on chance and luck. And then there's the other 10%. Oh yeah, and by the way, I think I fall into the way too conservative with my money category, because I'm ridiculous. I am ridiculous. I have no idea how I got to be so ungodly cheap, or just so unwilling to take chance. And the kid that actually won is the kid that you would hope that you are. And obviously there's only 10% left, so that's all I got to give. Is I bet you that there's like 10% of the population that is like the kid that won the game of Monopoly, where they play conservative, but they're still willing to give up some cash in the right situation. And he was, I guess when they would normally play, he would go and buy like very expensive properties on the Monopoly board and all that. But now that they were playing for real money, he went for some more. And this is what the guy said in the TED Talk. He was like, my son called them more affordable properties, and I was like, oh, like that's absolutely crazy. That's how a real deal serious investor would talk. 61 cents a mile, oh boy. Strange. Huh. I don't know. There's like some signs up on the side of the road there. I had to check them out. What else do I want to throw in here? Basically, the whole thing was about the disassociation of money to... Oh, I wanted to throw that in there too, at a certain point. We'll get to that. It was about the disassociation of money and how people, they just have a little plastic card. Or, I know that some places you can like pay with your phone and stuff like that. And he was saying that some places get way crazier than that, and like there's nothing, like they give you something like a ticket, and you just run a rack on that ticket, and then you pay the bill at the end, which for some people would be incredibly tempting. And basically the whole structure is that the money is not real in the moment, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'll, do one of those, and yeah, give me one of them numbers, I'll take that joint on the bottom there. And then you show up to the end of the ride, whatever they're using this for. Get to the end of the month, you got to pay the bill, and you're like, oh, this is not good. Like, where did all this stuff come from? This is ridiculous. Like, and then maybe, I don't know. I've never had a credit card. I don't know if they do this, but you start looking at your bill, and you're like, oh boy, like I spent this much on that. And I really bought one of those, and I don't remember eating at that place so many times. All of that sort of stuff. It's the disassociation of money. And this is something that I have been fortunate enough to somehow evade. And I think there's really only one... Oh, no, there's two reasons. There's two reasons now. I'm bumping it up. It's not just one, it's two now. First reason why I think I understand that money, the worth of money, why I think I understand it, and this has been from a young age, is because when I was, I don't know, like 8 to 12, somewhere in that range. I don't know what time, or what age this was, but my parents used to, if they needed stuff done around the house, your allowance was basically based on what chores you did throughout the house. And I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but if you did chores, you would get, what was it? It was a sticker chart. It was the sticker chart. Oh boy. So if you did a chore, depending on how cruddy that chore was, you would get a certain amount of stickers. So like, I don't remember the system, but let's think of something here. Like if you did laundry, like you folded up laundry, you would get like one sticker, because that's like, that's baby stuff. Like you don't, like nothing's really happening there. Now if you like, I don't remember any of the chores that they would let us do even. But like, let's just say if you like cleaned a whole bathroom, you would get like 3 stickers or something. And you'd be like, oh, like, man, maybe, hopefully we got like 20 bathrooms in here, like, so I can clean all of those and then, start racking up some bread, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there was only 2. I don't remember how all of this worked, but basically, once you filled up a sticker chart, I believe you would get $1. That was the concept. $1. That was it. And I ought to smack him in the neck for $1 for a full chart. It was ridiculous. We were getting scammed so hard, but we just had no idea. And like, you're a kid, so like $1 is reasonably powerful to you, because nothing. You're not paying phone bills or utility bills. You're like buying, just garbage basically. And like as a kid, you're just buying whatever, so you don't really need that much money. But that partially is, I think, why I understand the worthiness of money, is because I understood from a young age that to get any sort of money, I was going to have to do something for it. And it maybe not subconsciously, I was thinking like, oh, to buy this thing, it cost me, a full dang sticker chart. Like, oh, you remember all that crap that I had to do for it? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking like that. Maybe I was just like, no, I'm just going to buy it. I have no idea. But then the other thing, and I think this is where my mom messed up. And, oh, sorry. And it's my mom specifically, because she's sort of a financial wizard in a weird way. Like, she just understands how to do money, you know what I mean? Like, she's pretty smart like that. But this happened when I got my first job. I got my first job when I was 12 years old, and I was mowing. Was it 12 or 13? I was doing something at 12. I can't remember. I was mowing lawn from like 12 to 16, something like that. So basically, I mowed this guy's lawn down the street from my parents' house, and he paid me real good money. He paid me like I was a professional groundskeeper, and I was like, oh, like, it was insane. Like, I would show up at the end of the day, and it was like, okay, here's $70 for the whole day. I'm 12, 13 years old. I'm like, $70? I thought I was balling, all right? By the second week of work, I had already gone to the store and bought a new bike so I could ride down there. Like, and this is so telling of like, it's so telling of like how people react to money. Is they like get that new job and they're like, oh my god, like it's so much money, and then they go buy some new crap. You know what I mean? That's an aside. But basically, bringing it back to my mom, is she saw, because he would write it out in a check. So she saw what he was paying me, and she was like, no, like, you don't need $70 for one day of work or whatever every week. And I'm like, but I earned it, like, let me have it. She was like, no, like, I'm gonna keep half of it in a savings account, and you can have the other half. And I was like, what? You're taxing me at 50% right now? And she never explained to me that, you know, this money is still mine. It's just not readily available to me. You know, I can't walk into a bank at 13 years old and be like, yeah, I'd like to make a withdrawal from my account. You know, I probably couldn't do that. So, you know, reasonably smart on her part, but she didn't explain it very well. And so I was past. Oh, I was real angry that it was this way. And, you know, I would just be like, all right, fine. Like, I only got $35 now. Like, okay, like it's still a good chunk of change. So, whatever. I'll just do whatever. And started, you know, buying whatever. And it just got normal that I'd just give half. And it was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then the day came. When was this? It was definitely after 16. I think it was around the time when I was thinking about going to college for the first time, and there was a second time, and it didn't work out both times. Just in case you're wondering how uneducated your boy is, when I was thinking of going to college for the first time, I believe that was when she was like, "Oh, you remember how I used to take half of your paychecks from the guy down the street?" And I was like, "Yeah, what happened to that?" Like, I was thinking, like, "Oh yeah, I burned it in the backyard," and I was gonna be like, "Oh, like, you got to be kidding me with this! Like, seriously? So now I'm never gonna see that money?" But no, that was not the case. She had just been putting it in a savings account, and there was like $2,000 in there, and I was like, "Oh, like, that's crazy! Like, I can't believe that I have $2,000." I was like, "Wow, that's absolutely insane!" And like, we're talking about a 16, 17-year-old kid. You know, me, a 16, 17-year-old kid. I had $2,000, and I was like, oh, like, that's a lot of money. Holy crap. I can't believe it. Like, I was thinking, like, Lambo at that point. You know what I mean? But no, it was for college. And I was like, I remember the very first thing that I thought, immediately when I heard $2,000, and I think I said it out loud, I was like, what happened to the other $2,000? Because she only took half. Like, I had the other half. Where did it go? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I was spending money crazy. I was like, where did the other half go? Are you serious? Like, it's just gone? I'm never going to be able to see it again? Like, this is so tragic. And I think that's truly where she messed up, because now I am the most cheap person you've ever met. Oh my goodness. Cab over Mac Daddy-O on the side of the road there. Might have to press the rewind for a second and check that thing out. That was a pretty nice rig. Anyways, yeah, that's my deal with money. I think that a lot of people don't understand money, and they just throw it out the window and they're like, oh, like, this is so much fun. And yeah, it's fun right now, and then eventually you're going to be crying in the corner because you don't have any money. And I mean, that's just the brutally honest truth that I can get to you here. All right, you know what? This is getting too long. Coming up to the 29-minute mark. Yeah, I'm going to let y'all loose. So, yeah, I'm going to enjoy the rest of Ohio, make it on over to North Carolina, and yeah, hopefully y'all have a good day. Catch you later. Bye-bye.